This audio horror series contains themes of horror and adult themes. Viewer discretion is highly advised. You have been warned. Gluttony. More than just overeating. Gluttony is the overindulgence in any material pleasure, driven by an insatiable hunger for more. It seeks satisfaction but never finds it, trapping its victims in a cycle of excessive consumption and eventually decay. For one hungry visitor to the Helltree Hotel, the buffet might be holding something very, very distasteful that might just be so appetizing to him, though it might be his last meal. I call this tale Gluttony, Last Feast. In the summer of 1996, the Helltree Hotel was a haven for vacationers, famous for its lavish, all-you-can-eat buffet. Guests from all around the country came to indulge in its endless dishes of savory meats, decadent desserts, and overfilling platters. Among them was a man named Jerry Frisk, a traveling salesman with an insatiable appetite. Jerry was no stranger to buffets, but this was something else. He had already gone back for force, and yet he felt no satisfaction. Each bite only stoked the fire of his hunger. Even when the dining hall closed for the night, the gnawing emptiness of it gut refused to leave him alone. Unable to resist, Jerry waited until the hotel had gone quiet. As midnight passed, he snuck down from his room and slipped into the dark kitchen. The scent of food still lingered, the air thick with grease and spice, calling to him. The vast kitchen was empty, save for the gleam of stainless steel surfaces and the low hum of a refrigerator. As Jerry rifled through shelves and snatched bits of leftover food, something at the far end of the kitchen caught his eye. An old cast iron oven. Unlike the modern equipment surrounding it, this oven was ancient, its surface blackened with age and use. A faint heat seemed to emanate from it, despite the fact that the kitchen had long since closed. Curious, Jerry approached the oven. Its iron door was massive, towering over him. As he moved closer, his stomach growled louder, more urgently than before. He swore he could hear a faint sizzle from inside, as thought something was cooking. The hunger clawed at him. Drawn like a moth to a flame, Jerry reached out and grabbed the handle. The moment his fingers touched the oven, flared, scorching his skin. But he couldn't pull away. His hands seemed glued to the metal. He struggled, panicked, but the oven pulled harder. His feet slid across the greasy floor as the door yawned open, revealing a roaring, unnatural fire within. The oven was alive. Before he could scream, it swallowed him whole, dragging him into its fiery maw. The flames didn't burn like normal fire. They were cold, cruel, and twisted. His body contorted, stretching and twisting as the oven consumed him. He could feel himself being shredded, his flesh melting and reforming, his bones snapping and reshaping. His mind screamed in agony, but there was no escape. Then silence. The next morning, the staff prepared the day's buffet. In the kitchen, no one noticed that the old oven was a little warmer than usual, or that its door creaked slightly as if recently disturbed. By lunchtime, the dining hall was packed with guests, their plates piled high as they indulged, marveling at the fresh, succulent meats that had appeared on the buffet that morning. No one questioned the source of the new dishes. But those who ate the meat that day complained of strange dreams that night. Dreams of burning, being devoured by unseen flames. In the deepest part of their sleep, they heard faint, desperate screams echoing from the kitchen. The oven in the Helltrient Hotel had been hungry for a long time, and now Jerry's hunger would never end, his body feeding the very machine that had devoured him, waiting the next glutton to take his place.